there, they want to negotiate in good faith. Why are they saying that? Because the owners do not feel that the players have been negotiating in good faith. Let's get into this article right here on ESPN. WNBA, CBA, Q&A, Nneka Ogwumike, Napheesa Collier on standstill. Now, you're about to listen to some ladies playing victim. That's what you are about to hear all throughout this.
That is the sound of a negotiation crumbling in real time. The WNBA's owners ceased replying to the players' union over 2 weeks ago. There is no delay, no break, just complete radio silence. And what you're about to see is how the players are attempting to spin this tragedy for the public while the owners have already moved on.
Project B, these are the complete conflicts of interest. I don't even know how they are sitting in the leadership seats at this point. Complete conflict of interest with all the stuff they have going on. Let's get right to it. It says on the eve of negotiating deadline for WNBA CBA collective bargaining agreement, WNBPA president and vice president Napheesa Collier told ESPN they are proud of the union's solidarity and vowed to keep working for a transformational agreement despite their frustrations with the
Here's what really happened. The collective bargaining agreement expires tonight at midnight, and instead of reaching an agreement, the players' union is scrambling to justify why they are about to enter lockout. Nneka O and Kelsey Plum got down with ESPN to perform damage control, and the conversation demonstrates how terribly they misjudged the issue. The owners provided an extension until January 9th to continue negotiating. The players rejected it. Now that the same owners have completely ignored them, the players are talking about negotiating in good faith. That phrase does not appear by chance. When you start declaring you wish to negotiate in good faith, it means the opposing party has accused you of doing the opposite.
The Q&A, right? This is from ESPN. It says, over the past few months, more information has reported about the league and players' proposals, with numbers and information changing frequently. But as of right now, how would you describe that state of negotiation? Napheesa Collier said, obviously, we hope that we will be a lot further than we are because it's been about 15 months at this point. But at the same time, we have to stay strong in what our values are and what we're standing for. The players feel really united right now. We're waiting for the league to come back, and we're not going to accept a bad deal. We're waiting for the league to come back.
Let's look at what the players are actually asking for, because the numbers tell the tale. They want 30% of league income, not profit revenue. That implies that before the league pays for arenas, travel, marketing, staff wages, or any other operating expenses, the players receive 30 cents on the dollar. They also seek a payroll cap of $10 million per franchise. Currently, it's around $1.4 million. That represents a greater than 700% increase. And they want the owners to continue paying for housing, charter flights, and all the other privileges they already enjoy. The league ran the number. If they accept these terms, the WNBA will lose $700 million over the life of the contract. 700 millions. Remember, most WNBA teams already operate at a loss, which is subsidized by their NBA counterparts.
And disappointing. Okay, victim now. You're upset and you're disappointed. The tone of the negotiations coming from the league is very dismissive, very disrespectful. You know, they've said over and over again that the players don't understand the business, and for them to put a blanket statement like that over players who clearly we do. We are very smart, educated women. We know what we're asking for. We know that it's not too much like they're saying. So that's been very disappointing to have that be the tone of conversations when we are in such a transformational.
Now, observe how Wnba frames this in his ESPN interview. She claims the league is dismissive and insulting by telling athletes they do not understand the business. But here's the deal. If you're seeking for a deal that will bankrupt the league, you may not understand the business. The players keep stating they made compromises, that they've been flexible and sensible. When ESPN asked Ogwumike for specific examples of where they had compromised, he was unable to provide any. She stated that the specifics cannot be shared, but they have been willing to be creative with revenue sharing. That is not compromised. That means you want the same thing, but are open to diverse methods of calculating it.
Both say what you like to see. Ogwumike said, we made it clear more than a year that our priority is most certainly a new salary system that is tied to meaningful share of the revenue. As a player, I don't feel like I've seen any negotiation in good faith that reflects stepping somewhere closer to the middle, as we have in not just the CBA, but in CBAs before. Fee is right. It's the tone. It's the process. They already said the CBA y'all are offering are going to put them $700 million in the hole. They're not taking that deal. So I don't know what, I don't get.
Then there's the Caitlin Clark incident, which may be the most telling aspect of the entire interview. Clark stated during last month's USA basketball camp that all parties must compromise. It was calculated and diplomatic, as you'd expect from someone attempting to remain neutral as her first season is jeopardized by a lockout. Brianna Stewart echoed the sentiment. Both of them, the league's two biggest stars right now, have publicly advocated for compromise. So ESPN questioned AUA and Plum about it. Observe how they react.
Tyler said, we absolutely agree. We just feel like the league is not agreeing. I mean, I think we have been very compromising. Like, we're not asking for anything crazy. I think we've been very respectful, very realistic with what we're asking, and we are compromising. It just feel like that's not being reciprocated by the other side. Wnba said, I really do feel like the league needs to really pay attention and listen and take notice of exactly what we're coming to the table with time and time again, because we've been in the room trying to figure out what we can do to get both sides to be closer. We've been more flexible, more than reasonable, and it's really sad and disappointing to see the league don't see players win.
Did you catch that? They entirely avoided it. Plum claims they completely agree, but then quickly shifts to imply the league isn't compromising. Agua believes the league should pay attention to what the players are bringing to the table. Neither of them responded to what Clark and Stewart stated, since this is what Clark and Stewart were truly expressing. Both sides must give something up. The players should reduce their demands. The owners should raise their offer. That's what compromise entails. However, the players' union leadership does not want to lower their demands. They have been insisting on a 30% revenue share for the past 15 months. This is where the conflict of interest becomes too obvious to ignore. Wnba, Mike, and Plum all have big stakes in Unrivaled, a 3-on-3 league that begins this month. Stewart co-founded it. These are the persons in charge of the discussions, and each has a backup plan that competes directly with the WNBA.
From the other side of the table that, in my opinion, is disappointing and a bit surprising, especially as we are here now approaching a time where everybody wishes they could be getting ready for free agency. We want to get a good deal done and we want to play. They completely swept what Caitlin Clark is saying. Where would you say the players have compromised so far? The details of those proposals can't necessarily be discussed in full. When it comes to our priorities, that is not something we're moving on, but we've been doing some bending on our share of the revenue and understanding how we can face.
Let's talk about what the owners are really thinking, because their silence is intentional. They stopped responding 2 weeks ago. This is not an accident or a scheduled conflict. It was a premeditated strategy to let the players' union dig their own hole with public pronouncements. The owners